Hey, family. I want to talk to you about the South in comparison. Show business, black people. Let's talk about Texas first. Texas to me is like the upper part of the uppity part of the South, if you know what I'm saying. Um, More so Dallas than Houston. I think you have a lot of affluent black people here in Texas, more so than you have in Georgia. You do. You have a lot of affluent people here in Texas. And I think Texas is more bougie. Now, Georgia is also, but Georgia, when we talk about Georgia, we basically talk about Atlanta. Ain't nobody talking about Savannah. Nobody basically talk about Athens. Nobody actually talk about Tifton. When everybody talk about Georgia, they basically talking about the surrounding areas of Atlanta. Okay? When you talk about Texas, you basically can talk about different parts of Texas because it's a huge state. Okay? So, because I can tell the difference between Houston and Dallas. Okay? San Antonio, not so much so. But I can tell you those two cities. But let's talk about how things work. I find that Houston, when I visit there, I find that Houston is cliquish. It's a very cliquish town. I find that you don't hear the buzz in Houston as you do in California. I don't, or in if you were in Atlanta, it's like everybody is kind of standoffish, if you know what I mean. I think the black people is very, I want to say dignified. They have a lot of dignified, dignitary black people in Houston. But when it comes to in your face, I have to give that to Atlanta. Atlanta really want it real bad. When it comes to show business and when you want to find people to do skits or when you want to find people when you want to do the arts, that's more so in Atlanta. They have the arts in Houston, but it's quiet. And this is why I think show business is not taking root like it's supposed to in Houston. It's because you don't hear the buzz. You don't hear the noise here. And it makes me think that people really don't want it. There's a lot of stuff that's supposed to be happening in Houston. Even when you talk about 50 cents, it's real quiet. And for all the noise that a lot of people are saying that's supposed to come to Texas and stuff like that, it's very quiet. And it's not supposed to be that quiet. It's not supposed to be, and I don't know if it's because it's a large city, but it's real quiet. Very conservative, very standoffish, tight. When I go to Atlanta, it's totally different. You can hear it all. You can hear it. You can hear the noise. You can hear, it's like, it's so stimulating when you go to Atlanta. It's like, I don't even have to be with anybody, but I know where to go. I just know. And when I get there, it's almost kind of like I have a sense, or it's like I have my intuition say, go over here. And when I go over there, that's where everything is. It's like you can hear it. California, the same way. LA, when I'm back in LA, you can hear it. You can hear it in the air. I know exactly where to go. When I visit Houston, it's very quiet. And not just in show business, but that's with anything. It's just like it's very quiet. People is very reserved, very standoffish, very cliquish. you can't hear nothing. So if you're a quiet person, and if you want to live a quiet life, Texas would be it for me. If you want to live the nightlife, where you have to be in the know in events and where stuff is always going, I would say Atlanta. But there's a big difference between both states or cities. Atlanta and Houston, big difference. Big difference. And driving to both is big difference. It's very quiet. You can't hear a peep. When you go on up to Dallas, it's worse than Houston. It's just like, it's so reserved. Some people like that. A lot of people like that. Beautiful stores, like I say, beautiful homes, but it's very quiet. Safe. Very safe. I think it's safe. I think it's safe when you go into the subdivisions and when you go in certain areas. I'm not going to say the crime rate, crime is everywhere. Crime is heavy in Georgia. Crime is heavy in California. Crime is heavy in Dallas. Crime is all over. But when it comes to safety, I think Texas is safer. Very quiet, though. Very quiet. Black people, very affluent, very rich. The culture is very rich. Can't hear a peep. That's me. Yeah.